You know what happened today is a coup d'etat. In any case, if you are new to the podcast, thank you very much for everybody who has subscribed. If you have not watched, it was a day where white privilege showed its ugly head, its ugly colors. It has come alive again. Remember when BLM protesters came out and were tired of police violence against them and killing black men who are unarmed and not a threat to police officers? Remember when that protest season came up and everybody was complaining about violence? Older Latinos, when they know that cops really don't care about them. White people who obviously don't know what it's like to be asked what their ID, be asked for their ID. Who owns that nice car they're driving? Who don't know what it's like to get a higher interest rate on a loan than a white person because the white people typically get them lower than black people. Who don't know what it's like to be asked, hey, show me your papers. They don't know any of that. Now, today, white Trump supporters / rioters and domestic terrorists and white supremacists attempted a coup d'etat. They stormed the Capitol, broke the glass of the House chamber, and attempted to enter the House chamber. Capitol Police were forced to enter and descend onto the House floor. That fits over 1,000 people. And be in an armed standoff with white Trump supporters. Any idea what would happen to them if those supporters were black? If there was even one hint of diversity? Well, guess what? Nothing happened to them. They were just slowly moved out of the Capitol, never hurt. No violence, nothing. I'm going to show you a couple videos here of the kind of madness that these Trump supporters caused. Take a look at this first one. It's where protesters are charging the police, and instead, I'm not even going to tell you. Look what happens when these protesters charge the police. Watch this.
And the big question for so many is, what was it like for the folks who were inside the Capitol building? GOP Representative John Curtis represents the state of Utah. He was barricaded inside of his office.
So there you go. You saw it. You saw it. They charged at the police. The police just moved back and just let the protesters go ham, do whatever they want. You tell me that if a black man and a group of Black Lives Matter protesters went up to those police officers, they would have not been hit with batons, billy clubs, tasered, maybe been hit with some pepper bullets, some rubber bullets, some tear gas, some smoke grenades, some real bullets. Maybe they would have been run over by a police cruiser. And by the way, these Trump supporters are dressed in Make America Great Again hats, or as I call it, Keep America Racist hats. It's incredible. They attempted this coup of the Capitol. All because they think this election was a fraud. All because they think this election was a fraud. They're putting people's lives at risk, including their own Republican warriors and allies in Congress. But wait, there's more. What happens when a police officer is climbing the Capitol steps and protesters are following them? I don't know.
You can see what appears to be that Capitol Hill officer right there showing restraint with that baton in his hand. Demonstrators, again, they're what started as demonstrators now turned to...
A group of protesters following the police officers. A police officer is using a baton to try and keep them away, and yet he still keeps walking up the steps and they keep following him. If the election was really stolen, I don't think invading the Capitol, invading the Senate floor, which actually happened, by the way, and chasing police officers is the right thing to do. You wouldn't do that if you're a normal, rational, non-right-wing, non-white supremacist, non-racist, and non-white domestic terrorist, and a non-KKK member. Okay? If you don't believe that these are Trump supporters, you are blind like me. You are blind that you cannot see the Make America Great Again hats. You are blind that many of them are dressed in what the Proud Boys usually wear. And you're just blind to the situation no matter what. Folks, ladies and gentlemen, this is white privilege. This is white privilege. Now, during this coup d'etat, the police even allowed these protesters, or might I call them terrorists and rioters, to breach the police barriers and get to the Capitol. I'm not kidding. Check this out.
Police are squabbling with protesters. Oh, there we go. And they just breached the Capitol again.
Making noise, being stupid, being dumbasses, and having nothing else to do with their lives. You know, these people could be finding a job, helping to feed their families, and acting as rational, normal human beings. But they're not, because they don't have brains. They don't think for themselves. And shame on the police. These people are attempting a coup, and you allowed them to breach those barriers. You allowed them to get past you and those barriers and enter the Capitol. You gave them an open invitation to say, go ahead, shoot up the Capitol, do your damage, I don't care, you're white. Prove me wrong. Imagine, put all those protesters in the color of the skin of a Muslim. Or how about a black man? How about a Hispanic? Take a Hispanic, a Muslim, and a black gentleman, and make them storm the Capitol. And make them encounter the police like that. You're going to tell me they wouldn't fire upon them? They wouldn't arrest them, drop kick them, hit them with billy clubs, hit them with their batons, tase them, shoot them with bullets, pepper spray them, mace them, tear gas the crap out of them? You're telling me that wouldn't happen? And no, this is not Antifa. This is Donald Trump's supporters. This is fully Donald Trump's fault. Remember, if you're black, you ain't going back to your house. You're going to jail or in the grave. If you're white, oh, don't worry, they'll shine a light in front of your face and say, come on in. Trump caused all of this by saying the election was stolen, by inciting violence. He committed a terrorist act against his own country. He is the Osama bin Laden of Al Qaeda. He is the al-Baghdadi of ISIS. He is the United States of America's CIA agency who causes and starts wars and invades other countries for natural resources and for no other reason but to cause havoc. That is this man, Donald J. Trump. He caused it. And to all you Republicans who ran away like scared little babies, shame on you. You should have stayed there. You should have let them do whatever they wanted to you. Because you allowed this to happen. You did. Nobody else did. You did. This is a coup d'etat, folks. No matter how poorly unorganized it was, no matter how poorly executed it was, this was a coup d'etat. Period. It's a coup. If you don't believe it, I'm going to ask you kindly, child, don't ever comment on politics. Don't ever comment on anything else related to it. Because obviously, You don't know a damn thing. If you're excusing violence, I don't ever want to hear about BLM again. I don't ever want to hear about Antifa. And by the way, the right wing is already saying, it's Antifa. Oh my God, did you see this Antifa guy? Oh, and George Soros. They're going back to the old talking points that are so tired, even Great Britain doesn't believe them. Even Mexico, Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Afghanistan, Pakistan, our allies in Japan, they don't believe it. The country doesn't believe it. And if you're mad that this election was stolen, maybe you should blame your dumbass president for dropping the ball and misrepresenting you, because instead he represented the corporations, and you know damn well that he did that. And if you don't, you are blind and you should stop watching Fox News. Lastly, I want everybody who complained about violence in June, July, and August and September, when protests in Portland, Vegas, and everywhere else were going on, in Seattle, in Minnesota, I want you to complain about violence right now. And not from Antifa, from your white, privileged Trump supporters who attempted a coup d'etat in the United States of America.